Always fun, crazy. It's painful, but it's wonderful. What is the name?
It's Reusse Unchained.
Nothing painful about the purple. Your club is rolling.
No, my club is rolling, although I just had a very painful experience in the studio here. I got the headset on, right?
Yeah.
So I got kind of the hairline pushed back. I got no hair anymore, at least for the front half of my head. It's completely bald. You'd think I'm shaving my head. I've always had kind of the crazy little leftover Christopher Lloyd hairdo, and I saw that in the car today. But when you put the headset on, there's nothing. Nothing. It's all over. Well, that's okay, I guess. That's okay.
I was going to say that's fine.
Boy, did I have an experience coming in today before we get into the Vikings.
Yeah.
I'm driving, I'm on the freeway heading on in on, downtown, going downtown, and some young fella, I got the top down, and some young fellas pull up beside me and they're pointing frantically that there's something wrong with my car, right?
Yep.
And they're pointing frantically, and it's not, they're trying to be nice guys. I'm seeing, do I got a flat tire or what the hell's going on? So I'm 3 lanes from the exit on 35, so or 94, on 94. And so I have to make my way over onto 36. The gas cap's open this far. The gas cap. I don't need to know that when I'm on the freeway. I'm honest to God.
It can be open the whole way. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. These guys almost had me kill they try to be nice guys, but they almost had me kill myself to close the gas cap, which was open that far.
You know what? It's 2024. Rule of thumb, if there's no dashboard light going crazy.
Yes.
It's like an airplane, like we've always said. If a seat's loose or something, or there's something sort of wrong, just take off.
Don't tell anybody.
Correct.
Nothing drives me crazier than being in a full plane that's already 45 minutes late. And it's happened to me back in my flying days. And some jackass across the aisle whose seat is not working properly tells the flight attendant about it, and we got to wait another 40 minutes. You just push that back up.
Yep.
Hold it. Put your hands behind your back. Hold it. And then once you're airborne, you can report it. But they're not going to turn around because of a seat, right? They're not going to,
Absolutely.
Or if the toilet's plugged up, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Wait till we're airborne. Don't worry about the little stuff, you nitpicking idiots. The object is to get airborne.
Correct.
That's the only thing.
Amen.
If the person next to you looks very suspicious and might be carrying an object he shouldn't have, still don't say anything. Take your chances. Be on time.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, if it was up to me, we wouldn't have all that security up there. We'd just take our chances.
Yep.
You
Or how about this one? A small crack in a windshield, for instance.
Yes.
You can still take off.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Small crack. And they're going to replace the windshield, by the way.
Yeah, I told you about my one in the fort. We're coming back from the fort and flying Sun Country, and we land, and we're supposed to leave at 6, and everybody's got their tickets, and we're all ready. And they find out they got the fuel cap something's wrong with the fuel cap, right? Well, the plane just flew in from Cancun and made it from Cancun with whatever the problem was. 3.5 hours later, or no, hell, they said we're going to leave at 9, and then all of a sudden, at 9 they're sending us a plane from Minneapolis, right?
Oh,
so which means midnight, and then that plane can't land because there's thunder. By then there's thunderstorms. So they sent us all home. Luckily, we could go back to when we owned the condo there. But everybody else, 2:00 in the morning, they're waiting for. They're waiting. So Marty Davis, the owner of Sun Country, I missed Saturday Sports Talk. We were still doing Saturdays. It might have been you and me. I don't know. I missed Saturday Sports Talk, and he texts me that, how come you're not on Saturday Sports Talk this morning? He was in a duck hunting blind in South Dakota or something.
Yep.
And I said, well, I'd be there, but there's this airline called Minneapolis Airline called Sun Country, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, whoever owns it this is what he owned, deadheaded a plane all the way into Miami, all the way into into Fort Myers, and then had to deadhead it over Miami and put everyone's in hotels. Says, I'd hate to be that guy who owned that airline. And I just got back an old bleep from him, So anyway, that was almost worth the whole trouble to be able to agitate him. But anyway, yes, our Vikings. I didn't know. I hadn't looked. I assumed we were 2 or 3 point favorites going in. We were underdogs.
Again?
They still no respect. So they were favored against the Giants, right?
Yes.
But they were underdogs the last 2 weeks then?
And again, for Sunday's game against the Packers.
Really?
In Green Bay, yeah.
People, start going to St. Croix Casino and getting rich here. Now you could go to St. Croix on Sunday, not only bet the Vikings there, you could bet all those Packer weenie heads that think they're going to win, just straight up cash. Take cash with you, homie, and bet $100 a game with a bunch of people. Have somebody hold it for you. You could double dip stealing money. Vikings, they'll beat them. Well, with this defense, what's Malik Willis going to do when he faces a little bit of pressure?
Unless LaFleur's, he's a good coach. Unless they've got some, but that's the thing is, so far, no one's had an answer to what Flores is doing.
No, it's
not
incredible.
Even that close.
It's incredible. I was trying to read about it today, and nobody knows what he's doing. Half the time, not the players, right? They got him. Just go, make it look like you're coming every play, and then get out of it.
And you drop guys' backs and different guys. It is it's got to take a high football IQ to play for this dude.
Yeah, and
can't be a dummy.
This Stroud. Let's realize that he was like the phenom of the football. The guy who came out of all those rookie quarterbacks. The expectations for him were probably lower than anybody, right? And then he played great. Mm-hmm. And he had no idea what he was doing yesterday. He was completely overmatched. So, it was incredible. All three performed, but beating the Giants bloody is one thing.
Right.
Beating these guys as bad as you want to.
Yep.
When people were talking about them as a Super Bowl team. I did not realize, by the way, our Daniil Hunter had never had a roughing the quarterback in his career.
Isn't that incredible?
That's amazing. It is. It's amazing. I
had no idea.
And I don't think it was a cheap shot. Although if you come back and you're playing against your old team and you get called for roughing the passer, they're going to boo you. Okay, it's not like it's you're going to get booed. And apparently the crowd, that was the. You can't tell when you're watching on TV. It doesn't sound as loud as the Metrodome does, but apparently they were loud yesterday.
Yep. Yeah. That's as loud as I've heard it since Zim's defenses were good, way back when, 2017.
So I think it was more evidence yesterday, you get in a dome, of how great Chris Chandler handled the noise in 99 in the Metrodome, because when you see a team like this become completely unglued, 4 straight penalties, and one of them was not assessed, right?
Right, one was declined.
3 straight
false starts.
3 straight false starts. By Tunsil was had, 3 during the day or something, right? The left tackle was supposed to be great.
Yeah, he took 5 penalties. 3 false starts and 2 illegal formations.
You don't think he had the big bong on his head again last night and was getting, that's still my favorite video of a future, okay, he might not be able to get enough smoke in him just by, smoking a marijuana cigarette.
Right.
He might have to put a orbit on his head to smoke it. But we're still going to draft him high because that son of a gun can play. And he's been a great player, right?
Yeah,
he's
went
been all-pro and
drafted by the Dolphins,
first,
and then
second team.
But yeah, I think now we've finally gotten past dope smokers. Right?
Oh God, yes.
Now we finally
no,
don't
but
care.
I've gotten past a guy who goes out and has a cigarette. A marijuana cigarette. I've gotten past that. I don't know if I've gotten past the guys that have,
He's a big man. He needs help.
I don't know if I've gotten past the globe on your head where you're smoking.
Hey, if you can block dudes, I don't care.
Okay,
you know what?
That's right.
As long as you're not a bad person, I don't care.
I don't care.
Or really,
we don't know. We don't know what kind of guy he is. But anyway, holy cow, it was
impressive,
amazing,
though, Pat. I mean, this is back-to-back wins against tough teams, and if Jones doesn't fumble against the Niners, I think you go up 27-7 in that game.
Yes. Niners lose again, right? Chargers.
Yeah, they're decimated. No
Rams
Kittle,
beat them.
No Debo.
Yeah.
No McCaffrey. They are decimated.
Yeah, and a couple other that kind of happened to them for a while last year, and they survived a little bit. But yeah, they. Well, that's what it is. That's the other thing about this team, and they're healthy. If you can stay this healthy. And one thing, I mean, did anybody leave yesterday suspiciously? I don't think anybody.
Darnold has had the supposedly MRI on his knee today.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I think he's got to sprain something, but he came back and played, so I don't think it's going to be it could potentially be a game, but I don't think it's going to be long term.
Oh, I didn't realize that that it was bad enough that he had to go get an MRI.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But that'd be too bad if it cost him some mobility, because the great difference between him and his predecessor is that he can get away from people, and he can handle pressure. And I mean, he's been out spectacular. There's no doubt about it. Yet, as many good things as they got going for him offensively, it's the defense that's made all the difference. I mean, they're just – and people say they're worried about – when's the last time they were this deep on defense? They got 18, 19 guys that can play, maybe 20, right?
For you know what, too? It's partially because Kirk's contract's gone.
Oh, God, yes.
Like I counted 10 free agent additions from the offseason, all right?
Mm-hmm.
They add up to less cap space than what Kirk and Daniil are getting from their teams, cap-wise.
Yeah.
So it's 2 guys, more than 10 guys.
And we kind of had been on the Van Ginkel bandwagon, not talking that much about Grenard, and then he goes and gets 3 sacks. Unbelievable.
I know.
It's not just being able to sign guys; it's signing the right ones. And somebody knew what the hell they were doing. I'll tell you now.
I think it's Flores. Don't you?
That identified these guys.
Yeah, I think Flores knows exactly what he wants from a prototype.
Yeah, well, whatever it was, it's pretty amazing. And as I said yesterday on Twitter, I was optimistic, but I never got to the point where I said, this is going to be the first Viking Super Bowl champion, where we all are this morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've already felt obligated to write columns. Are the Vikings the best team in football? Well, so far they have been, I would say. I don't know. I'm looking forward. So what they got? They go to Green Bay, and then it's home with who's they home with?
No, the Jets in London, which is a home game for the Vikings, but it's and then the bye.
Jets look pretty. Jets are pretty good defensively, so that'll be a big test.
They are very good defensively.
That's right. And Rodgers looked okay, but I don't know the way this. What's the situation with the Jets' offensive line? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think
I don't know. It looked.
Well, I think it's improved from a year ago, but that's not saying anything.
They brought in a bunch of new guys. I thought. Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a fantastic display yesterday. There's no doubt about it. When's their last time they've had that impressive of a total football game? Yeah.
Oh, God.
A long time. Wow.
And at home for forever, right?
Yes. Yeah, home. They were.
I mean, part of why it got so loud was because a blowout allows a crowd to do that. Like they're not, anxious, uptight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like the crowd gets loud when your defense is kicking the ass of the opponent. It's been a long time.
I think when you're doing that, fewer people go to the restrooms and the concession stands too, right?
Yes, I think
they stay in their seats instead of the hour and a half it takes you to go to the bathroom there, to the restroom and back. So
yes,
at the worst stadium in America, but they had a good time yesterday.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, it was very impressive. And we were just talking about the Twinks out there. And,
let's get to it.
Yes, CCO is having a tough time now as the home of the Twins. But as I said, things could be worse. You could be the home of St. Thomas football. It could be worse.
What the hell happened there?
To our club. 64-0.
Lindenwood's good, but they ain't that good, are they?
Honest to God, I received at least 15 texts from MIAC football people who were happier yesterday when they saw that score than they were even if they won their own game. It's unbelievable. I mean, Glenn Caruso, I get along with him. He's fine. But he did onside kick a couple of times when it was 42-0 in the first half. And he kicked some field goals in the third quarter when it was 60-0 and things like that. And and it was always his. He's not going to diminish his own team and his own players.
Right.
When somebody can't compete, I got to go see him. I got to go see him and ask him. Somebody's got to ask him how it was to be on the other side, right? Because Lindenwood kicked a field goal when it was 61-0 in the fourth quarter. Now, somebody from Lindenwood knows somebody from the MIAC, that's for sure.
How did they get so bad here, though? Like, if this was year one from the move, I'd be like, oh, okay, I get that. But they had, 3 years of really competitive?
Oh, good football.
What happened?
And they've had some injuries. And the quarterback, who they're playing, the kid from Fargo, who was supposed to be a hotshot, what's his name? I can't remember, but he's been terrible. And they finally pulled him last week. But they've had a lot of injuries, but that's not an excuse for this. I mean, they got right out of the chute, they got beat by a Division II school.
I know.
Bad. Their problem, obviously their problem is defense too when you give up 64. But offensively, they're terrible. They had against Sioux Falls, they had 4 first downs with 5 minutes left in the game, and yesterday they had 8 or 9 total, something like that. I mean,
poor Corbu. He's got to call these games on the Mighty 1500.
I ran across the post game on the Mighty 1500, and Corbo wasn't making excuses for him.
Good for Corbu.
He was telling,
never work at Bally's, but good for Corbu.
No, he won't.
He's got no future at Bally's.
They got 2 weeks off to get ready for the Gauntlet of the Pioneer League, which is the competition will be reduced, but unbelievable. This Lindenwood, I don't even know what it is, but all of a sudden they're playing Division I hockey too.
Yeah, I was going to say they played the Gophers last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's where I knew the school from. They played the Gophers,
and they're FCS, but I don't know where they're playing, what league.
Are they
playing
Missouri?
in. Yeah, it must
Missouri,
be a
right?
private school, I think, in Missouri. I never heard of it, but they're trying to use athletics to build themselves up, and wow, unreal. Anyway, Twins,
Yeah.
they need 5-1 minimum, don't you think? That might not do it. Now, Kansas City is really struggling, and I'm not sure who they play, but Detroit gets, I know they closed with 3 against the Whiteys.
They do have the
at
Whiteys
home.
at the end.
At home.
Yes.
Who else they got, you know?
I'll look it up.
Not.
And Detroit's a great, you know what? Go Tigers, damn it. What a great
God,
story.
Yes.
What a fun
they
story.
came on like gangbusters. And
Detroit,
you know,
Detroit, 6 games, just like the Twins at home. 3 against Tampa starting tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Tampa has
for 3.
Tampa has
for 3.
Tampa hasn't scored runs at all and has nothing to play for, and will probably be experimenting with some younger guys. And then the Whiteys. Now that the Whiteys have reached 120, they might have lost their spirit. You know. So
you think this is? You think this did it?
Yes, they might have lost their spirit because they played San Diego fairly tough, but managed to lose them all, right? So
the Royals have three against Washington in Washington Tuesday through Thursday. They're off on Monday, and then they close at Atlanta for 3.
Atlanta's trying to catch the Mets, but by then they might be eliminated. But Kansas City can't be this terrible.
What's happened to them?
They can't score any runs. Like, by the way, our Twins, we like to complain about the pitching and lack of relief pitching and stuff. They can't score any runs.
They're just not.
They're awful. It's unbelievable how bad they are offensively. By the way, I didn't even look at the box scores today. Did Correa play either game? Did he play?
I'm glad you asked because I can pull out my Star Tribune because I'm now a subscriber supporting my friends like Chip Scoggins and Pat Reusse.
All right.
And let me go to the doubleheader box score. All right, let's see what we got here.
I don't even know what.
Correa, yes, 0 for 2 in game 1. He did
probably
play.
didn't play game 2.
And then I'm sure he didn't play. No. Oh, whoa. He was 0 for 6 on the day.
Wow.
He played in both games.
And he's off tomorrow.
Buck. As did Buck.
Well, so it was an act of desperation.
All hands on deck.
So I got to tell you, I didn't see the first game, right? Oh, I saw the beginning of the first game.
Yeah.
So the second I get home, I turn on the TV for the second game. The Twins are ahead 2-0.
Right.
40 seconds later, they're behind 3-2. You know, because our new lefty throws the worst changeup in the history of baseball.
Cole Irvin's going to save the day.
Throws this pitch the size of a globe up to this Gonzalez, and the Boston crowd is sick and tired of this Red Sox, the Dead Sox they call them. They knew it was gone when he swung the bat. The crowd, whatever, like at 20,000 or whatever, started roaring as soon as he hit it. They knew it was gone. So then I changed channels. So then I turned it back 45 minutes later, 50 minutes later, 10 seconds. Cole Sands hits the guy with a pitch with the bases loaded to make it 6-1. 50 seconds of viewing, I see a 3-run homer and a hit by a pitch with the bases loaded.
It's awful. And
that's it. It's terrible.
Friday was one of the worst games I've seen from both teams combined, and how the Red Sox couldn't push a run across in extras. I have no
forever and ever.
The Twins should have lost all 3. There's no question about it.
Well, yesterday though, oof. And then we were mad that the Twins made them play. They made our poor guys play a split doubleheader. Well, they played it 2 hours after the other one. Who cares? You're off today anyway. You know, I don't know. It's, I'll tell you, they are getting killed. Although I got everybody up. They were, some guys that I like and follow were saying, today is all on the poll ads, blah, 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 all on management. Well, no. Game 1 was on your $73 million pitcher. Pablo.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
awful.
who comes out and, gives up 3 in the first, and then he gives up 4 more in the fourth. And then the thing was, well, there shouldn't be that much pressure on only 2 pitchers. It has been that way for my entire lifetime, you morons. Your ace pitcher does not get relief because there's no 3, 4, and 5 pitchers. Your ace, Frankie Viola and Bert Blyleven won the World Series for you.
Yes, not
Jack
Les
Morris and Kevin Tapani won the World Series for you. It's been that way for 100 years, you idiots. And Pablo wet the bed, and there's no excuses to be made for yesterday.
I got a question for you. Why do we feel, when things go bad like this, why do we feel the need to take sides in who we defend? You can blame everybody.
Yes,
you can blame it. You don't have to choose. You don't have to be like, I'm going to defend Rocco or the Polads or the players. You can blame everybody.
As I said the other day in a column, they only got 3 problems: pitching, hitting, and fielding, which I've always considered 3 vital ingredients. Now, maybe in the new metric world, they're not that important, but the way I see it, yes, they are. Yes, it is that important.
And you're right about the bats. I mean, the bats are just non-existent. I believe they went 3 games in Fenway Park without a home run.
I got a question for you. Would your wife know that you were working at this time of day? I just told my bride, I'm going to the station to do podcast. She's calling me. What do you want me to do? I'm on a show here. Pay some attention. Pay some attention to your husband, will you?
I've gotten calls before. I've gotten calls.
Yes.
Phone rings, and the problem is then I because I assume that she knows I'm working. I fear the worst, right?
Yes.
There must be something really wrong. So it always makes me nervous. So yes.
Oh, I bet I know why she's calling.
Why is that?
The cleaners are there today, and I didn't leave money.
So that trumps your
that trumps
working,
my
because now
outrage.
she's pissed off that you didn't leave the money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because she might not.
Game of flaws. She scored another point.
Yes, that's right. She did. I did not leave money for the cleaners. Twice. They come once every 2 weeks. It's not like we have a crew or something. They come once every 2 weeks. But okay, that's it.
There you go.
I was going to be outraged when I call her back. Now I got to be a nice guy, right?
Conciliatory, yes.
And of course, did you go for a football game? Were you there?
I tailgated, and then I told the wife, I said, let's not even watch this thing. Let's go home, sit on the couch and watch it. And it was absolutely.
What a tale of what happened at halftime. What do we tell our boys? Just keep doing what you're doing, or what?
On the Hawkeyes.
Wow. What? I mean, Iowa just the numbers for the second half are incredible. How many until consolation time? How many yards did the third quarter stats were like?
The running back had like 85 yards in one quarter, the third quarter.
Yeah, 150 yards to 19 or something.
I mean, they got just abused up front.
I've said this. I'll repeat it. I think we agree on this, Judd. What drives us both crazy, I mean, there's many things about Fleck. I think more things about Fleck drive me crazy than you. But when you get in the fourth quarter and your only goal is not to try to have a miracle comeback, but to keep the score looking more, not respectable, but looking so people won't go back and say, oh, my God, Iowa beat them 48-17.
Yep.
Instead of he protects defeat.
Yes.
He protects the size of defeat. It drives me nuts.
Yes.
You got even on TV they were saying they got to hurry up here. They get the possession early in the fourth quarter and they're going into the huddle and taking their 28 seconds to run a play. What is he doing? What is that?
No, you're right.
I don't know. It's just his ego that he doesn't want to get unmercifully beat. So he's calling. They finally ran a couple little hurry up under the 10-minute mark, but waited.
And who cares about that?
What is it? What is it about?
It's nothing.
You got to come out and you say, Max, go to the line of scrimmage, throw a pass. Let's go here.
But I saw this angst, right, on Fleck, and now he should be fired, but he can't because it's $22 million. Can we just give up here? Like, it doesn't matter anymore. No. It's an 18-team conference, NIL, portal. It's over. Just go have fun.
Yeah. And other words, and another one is, I saw one of the comments was, I wish he'd taken that UCLA job. Okay. Yeah. He was a real candidate to take $3 million instead of $6.5 million. Okay. Yeah. That's what they're paying the current guy. $3 million. Chip Kelly left UCLA to be an assistant coach. It has turned into such a bad situation. Fleck was never going to UCLA. There was never any interest from UCLA to pay him what he would have wanted. Shut up about it. It was all fraudulent so he and Coyle could give themselves more money. So
yes,
it drives me crazy that,
Here's my thing, though, Pat. So 2019, which is now, 5 years ago, was fun, all right?
Oh,
but
yeah.
2019 in college football terms to now is 100 years ago.
Yes.
It's over. Either just go have fun. Don't bitch about this program. It's hopeless.
I keep saying that I started in the Star Tribune as a copy boy in August of 1963. In that time, what has happened in college athletics the last 2 years is the most dramatic change of all. Analytics and TV, constant TV, none of that compares to what has happened to college athletics when you could not take a green Oldsmobile out of the parking lot without committing an NCAA violation when Mussy was here to this. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's only getting crazier. So.
And you are now, if you want to restore competitive balance, you would need a salary cap.
Yeah, right. That's true.
It's just over. It's just go have fun. Go drink, don't drive.
Yeah, but how do you
enjoy the games?
Okay, in the NFL, you're overseeing 32 teams, right? Looking for violations. Baseball 30.
Yep.
Hockey 32 now, right? 32.
32.
Here you have you got 130 of them with under the shroud of education. Right. To try to control things is ridiculous.
It would have to be Big Ten, SEC, ACC. You would have to cut everybody else loose.
By the way, the Big Two, the Big Ten and the SEC are going to disembowel the Atlantic Coast Conference here pretty soon. The Big Ten's going to end up with North Carolina and Virginia,
and Notre Dame's going to have to join the conference eventually.
Yeah, they are.
Or I think they're going to be in more trouble.
North Carolina and Notre Dame would be what their preference would be, I'm sure.
But
then the ACC, they're going to get Florida State, and I don't think they want both Florida. I don't know if the SEC wants Florida State. Florida State wants them, but Florida State is.
How do you lose to a North Carolina team that just gave up 70 to James Madison?
Yes. Yeah, and talk about how our boys put up 17 against them, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it 1917, that score?
Oh, and they could have won the game if they just hadn't missed that kick. How about scoring a few more points?
Yes. As I said, missed field goals weren't an issue for James Madison. I don't believe they had to try any, right? 70 points.
I think they had 50 at the half, Pat.
I've been saying all along that Mac Brown was a fine coacher when he was one of the 10 leading cheaters in America. Now they're all cheating. Yeah. James Madison is cheating as much as he is. So, It was unbelievable, some of those scores. Yes, like in the, that took place in college football on Saturday. It is a brave new world, and I don't think we're part of it.
No.
He looks.
No, we're not.
He looked a little depressed on the sideline in the fourth quarter, didn't he, PJ? Didn't see. I didn't see the dash. Does he still dash down to the other side?
I was reading something. I read something where I think the dash for the fourth quarter fizzled very quickly.
Oh, he didn't. He didn't run it hard.
I think he ran part of it, and then like he has to realize he is screwed.
Yeah, but the idea that he's got to be gone. Well, then what? As you just said, then what?
Right.
Who are you going to bring in? You might as well ride with him.
Unless you're going to bring an influx of cash, right?
Yes.
If you're going to get a new coach that you pay millions to and bring a huge influx of cash, which you don't have to pay the players, just ride this storm. It's going to continue for a long time, and enjoy Saturdays.
We don't have FedEx. We don't have a company tied as strongly to here as FedEx is tied to Memphis with a guy who can make the decisions. They got boards of directors. 3M has got lots of issues paying off asbestos and stuff. We don't have one of those. It's not like the big cigars days when 8 white guys ran every company in town and could make any decision they want. They now all have a board of directors, and it's the fact you have all these Fortune 400 companies has nothing to do with NIL because they can't. Half the people on that board aren't Gopher people, or 2/3. They went to some other college. They went to, some other business college. They're not tied to the Gophers.
And the most effective person in this town who would have at least attempted to beat them up, Sid, is dead.
Yes, Sid's. We're not gonna. There will never be another one. There will never be another guy.
He would have been in everyone's office.
Oh God, yes, yeah. He was. And there's never going to be a guy as influential and as unethical as Sid.
In a lovable way, mind you.
In a lovable way, but yes. And I mean, it's because everybody knew it wasn't a hiding. Everybody knew he was, that he was bending all the rules to try to help the home team. None of the rest of us, and I'm not certainly, is ever going to have that kind of influence.
Yeah.
And be that one and be that crazy with it, So none of the rest of us are going to go down there and chase the officials off the field at 80 years old after he feels that they did in the Gophers. And face no repercussions for such.
And then do it again on Sunday when he feels the Vikings got screwed.
Yes, he would be screaming at all of us that we thought the Vikings were going to stink, even if we didn't. Right. Even if you weren't as pessimistic as everybody.
Geniuses thought they were going to be awful.
Yes. Throw a little accolade for our Lynx. It looks like our Lynx are going to. The 4 best teams in the league are all going to go 2-0, and then it'll get interesting because you got 4 good teams, and our Lynx are one of them. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of it. The WNBA is a little more meaningful when they were winning the titles previously, don't you think? Caitlin had a lot to do with it.
Perception.
But more people are paying attention.
And your coach, Cheryl Reeve, Coach of the Year in the WNBA.
Yes, that's right, and I can't argue with that, but. And she now has 3 playoff victories since Maya Moore. And this
looks like this team looks legit. It doesn't look like a fluke at all.
Nafis is a monster, and Reeve did a great job in free agency. She went and got like 3-4 players that have been and then she got 3 players in free agency, and then she traded for this kid from Washington. So
my sense is she also finally got players that could take her berating without taking it personally.
Yeah, perhaps.
Her coaching style.
Yeah, that's true.
If you do that, it's fine.
That's where all the Angel Reusse, the not drafting Angel Reusse defenders say that they just wouldn't have it would have been oil and water, and it might have been, but the difference is you would have had an asset, right?
Oh, then the draft pick who doesn't play, yeah.
Yeah, instead of giving her away for nothing, which is basically what they did. So, anyway,
sell me a
quite
car.
a weekend for our Vikings, but Twins are going to come home, and I expect 9,000 people there for.
I'm going tomorrow just to ambulance chase.
I'm going.
I just want to rubberneck this thing.
I'm going tomorrow Tuesday. I mean, they lose tomorrow, it's over. They're never,
Except Kansas City keeps saying, "Hold on a second, we can top that."
Yeah, that is true. That's true. That is true. Yep.
Hey, speaking of accolades,
yes.
Tell me about your friends at the Valley Auto Group.
Valley Auto Group, Jim Paul, Brett Paul, a Valley group of GM dealers, Apple Valley and Hastings. You go out there, you're apt to run into a guy like Neil Hadding. Neil was a top salesman at the Valley for over 2 decades, probably the best truck guy around. You want one of those new Sierra GMC trucks? Neil would be the guy. Well, Neil left for a management position elsewhere, but now he's come back. And he's going to work with his thousands of old friends and customers at the Valley Group of GM dealers. Trucks have never been more popular. We not only some big old burly guys driving trucks, we see a lot of young ladies driving trucks.
Trucks are everywhere.
They like those big old trucks. Well, you go out to Jim Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers, you get to run into Neil Hadding. And I got Jim Paul's word on this. He's probably the best truck guy around. They also have Tim Condon, who spent many years in sales and finance at the Valley before moving to Alaska. Guess what? He's back too. And he'll be the guy you're working for when you work with when you're trying to finance a new vehicle at Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group and GM dealers. They've always had experienced, outstanding salespeople and staff people. And that's another thing that makes it a great place, in addition to all the stock, low interest rates, and factory rebate dealers. Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers, Apple Valley and Hastings.
Beautiful, sir. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow for some more Unchained with Declan and Phil as well.
All right, gentlemen.
All right.